Today, I'm going to be making a NASCAR-themed Mustang. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we all know what Mustangs do. Anyways, it's time to start upgrading this car for track as much as possible. It's still okay, I get it. Mustangs hit things, but that's not the point. So the first thing to do is get all 3 levels of weight reduction. After that, we're going to get bore up crankshaft, racing air filter, muffler, intercooler, exhaust, manifolds, pretty much everything. Why would we need these things, you ask? Well, stock this thing goes slower than your grandma's beat up Toyota Corolla. So ask her, see what her 0 to 60 time is. Time for tuning, and why you should not do it the way that I do it. I like my suspension as low as possible, lower than your GPA. The reason ride height is the first thing to change is because it can affect how your downforce works, also your aero. Don't tune your cars the way that I tune my cars. There's a better guide on YouTube that you can watch. I do it the way that I want to. Correct me in the comments, I will not read them. You may have noticed that I've changed pretty much everything on this car except for steering because it's a Mustang. Shelby Cobra himself, you can never have too many horsepower, just not enough traction control. Design is one of the hardest things to explain about this entire build. I chose a base of British racing green and thought that metallic white would look good. I later found out that as looking through the banner, it wouldn't work. I started experimenting with a matte black and it actually started looking pretty alright. I kind of committed and started making the entire back. I then started on the bottom corners of the door doing the same thing. I was only going to cover really one side to see if it would look good. I was thinking about putting white on the other side, kind of half and half. I thought about it. I tried it on a different car and it really didn't look very well, so I decided against it. One thing you should know about making custom cars in Gran Turismo is that at the click of a single button, I can lose pretty much all my progress. And it is so stressful when you've been making the same car and you've been working on it really hard and trying to make it look good, but if you hit the circle button, all your progress goes by. Another thing you might need to know is that it is so freaking hard using PS5 controls to do this when your freaking R2 button is worse than the stick drift on a Nintendo Switch. It is impossible to use. I swear if this controller was better, it would have looked better and it wouldn't have taken 1.5 hours to make this entire skin. That little rant out of the way. Beside the point, I think at this point it was starting to look pretty good. I started reusing pretty much all of the black logos over and over, and really that Toyo tires was so hard to get in place because I wanted it to bend, but I don't know how to do that because I'm bad at the game. 1962 was the first production year for the Shelby Mustangs, and only about 500 were made in the first couple months because people really did not know if they were going to sell. And it kind of did sell. Quite a bit while after this, Shelby kind of just left Ford, but in '06, the company was kind of reunited with each other. The original Shelby Cobra Mustang had a 0 to 60 time, and this really hurts to say, but it was 5.9 seconds, and it only was packing 235 horsepower. So it needed more horsepower, and probably needed some more traction. At this point in the build, I kind of ran out of ideas for the hood. I started just putting things repetitive, but it came out looking pretty okay in the end. I thought I could put the racing number in the middle, and apparently you can't, so it just shows how bad I am. But I have one angled text on there, and I think it looks kind of out of place. But for the number, I chose 41. I have no idea why. Yeah, so into the modern era, the 5.0 Mustang, a V8 engine and 235 horsepower, pretty close to what it had in the 60s. It could do 280 pound-feet of torque at 1,000 RPM. If you thought those specs were good on the modern car, well, sorry to break it to you, but this is the 2003 car that I'm talking about. The actual 2024 car is 460 wheel horsepower at 7,000 RPM. This car is a V8 5.0 liter, absolutely insane horsepower, and it has 420 pound-feet at 4,600 RPM. All in all, I really enjoyed this build, and now you can watch the glamour shots and the testing. All in all, this car handled pretty well. It has good acceleration. 9 out of 10. Enjoy these cinematics.
Right.